Hello there, Desmond. We're gonna go over a couple things your dad mentioned. I thought this would be pretty helpful. Number one, we're gonna just look at a major scale. Very simple. You can find it anywhere. Type in bass major scale. So your do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. From Sound of Music, everybody knows the little song. Start off on your E string. We'll go up to E, F, G, A. Right? So here's the pattern. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Then go backwards. Very simple. Nothing much to it. Just memorize the pattern. That's all there is to it. You don't have to worry about anything about the note names. You can look them up anytime you want. Just memorize the pattern. 2 on this string, 3 in that string, 3 in that string. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the first and 8 are the same note. A, 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 A. So these will be octaves. Very simple. Okay, so last time I think I mentioned something about 12 bar blues. Basically, it's taking the first note. Since we're in the key of A, the first note is A. The two other chords in a 12 bar blues progression in the key of A are A, D, and E, otherwise known as 1, 4, 5. Why 1, 4, 5? Because it's the first note in the key of A. Then A, B, C sharp, D is the fourth. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's the first, fourth, and the fifth. And the chords are based on the first, fourth, and the fifth from the A major scale because we're in the key of A. So, not rocket science. Alright, so if we're going to play the 12 bar blues in the key of A, it's going to sound like this. A, D, D, A, then E, E, D, D, A, E, E, then back around. Bum, 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 bum. Round and round it goes. And that might not technically be 12 bar blues, it might be like 10 bar blues. But anyhow, it's the same basic idea. Back and forth between the 1, the 4, the 1, the 5, the 4, the 1, and then a little turnaround on the 5, da -da -da, before you go back to the 1. Boom. Now, we're just playing on the, because assume this is 4/4 time. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you want to emphasize 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1 and the 3 are what you want to think about right now. Now you can change that up. You say, okay, I'm tired of that beat. We'll do a different rhythm. Okay, you could go like this. 1, 2. That's one way you can spice it up a little bit. Again, not playing different notes. There's only 3 notes, but you're going a little different rhythm. That's all good and everything, but we're going to actually start to play bass by adding a few different notes. So we add a little movement and a little bit of dynamic motion to the song, so it feels like he's going somewhere and pulling back within each chord. It feels like he's leading to the next chord. So now we're just in the key of A. Everything that we just did is in the key of A. Now we're just thinking about the A chord. This is what's happening when we're playing the A chord. Again, you can just stay on the A note. Play any rhythm you want. Or anything like that. But if we want to move, you might think like this. Take the A note, and then we're going to show a little pattern. Go up here, and right there. That's not out of your major scale, that's out of a minor scale, but we won't worry about it right now. Like that 3 little note pattern. All these notes are happening over top of or underneath of or at the same time as you're playing, everyone else is playing the A chord. And we'll take that little 3-note pattern and we could transition that pattern down to the D chord, then transition that pattern up to the E chord. So this little pattern of this, just three little note triangle, just going to slap it on top of whatever chord you're on at the moment. So you could do something like this: 2, 3, 4. Bum bum bum, bum 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 bum. Go to the D. Bum bum bum, bum bum bum. Back to the A. Yeah, bum bum bum, bum 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 bum. Up to the E. So whatever pattern you come up with, you just put that over top of each chord. And again, it's all about space and your rhythm. And you get those 3 notes. You don't have to even know what notes they are, just as long as that note that you're anchored to is the root of the chord that you're in. We can add another note, the note below. So we'd have that little four note pattern. If we're going to play that in the key of A with our A, D, and E chords, we just make sure wherever, first time we do the pattern, wherever the finger is that's on the root note, we transition that pattern so that same finger is on the root note to begin with. So if we're in the key of A, starting on the A chord, D chord, E chord, could go something like this. And back around and around it goes. It might look like a lot of notes all the time, but it's not. It's just one little pattern. You just come up with something and keep it anchored to whatever root of the chord that you're playing at that moment. So it's pretty cool, pretty simple, and you can do it with anything. If you're going to go octaves, here and here, you could go then D, back to A, up to E, again, just might look like a lot of notes, but you're really only need to know 3. 1, 2, 3. If you're playing something simple, that gives your hand something to figure out. And one other thing, let's say that we are playing this pattern. Bum bum bum, then go to D. Bum bum bum, bum bum bum. See how one time we're going up and then giving it a break and then going back down. Kind of moves the music back and forth instead of just doing the same thing like bum bum bum, bum bum bum. It goes bum bum bum, bum bum bum. Kind of makes it feel like it's pulling it somewhere else. Plus, when that second time, right when you're going from the A, bum bum bum, bum bum bum, and you end on this note, you know that your next note is going to be rooted on the D, so it gives you some motion into that next chord. So bum bum bum, bum bum bum. Bum bum bum, 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 or something. I messed that up a little bit. Anyhow, now let's say if we're doing that same thing, bum bum bum, bum bum bum. It's important how long we're gonna let these notes ring out. What if we go bum bum bum? Bum, bum, completely different sound than bum, 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 bum. So it all depends on what you're driving at. Same thing, if there are times in music where you might just go bum, 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 bum. But the music's going bump, 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 bump. It's not going like this. That's just ringing out the whole time. You want to go bump, 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 not bum, 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 bum. It's kind of hard to hear probably in the video, and I'm not very good at it. But essentially, what you're doing, and this is essential to learn. This is when you're doing your major scale. Practice the 2-finger thing, the little walking bass thing. Very essential. You don't just want every note to ring out. You want to work on controlling each note. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You can control it by touching it with the other finger right after it rings, or lifting up. But when you just lift up with this hand, sometimes it doesn't deaden the string very well, especially if you're at the 5th fret, 7th fret, 12th fret, stuff like that. You're still going to get an overtone ringing out even after you lift it up. So that's real important. You know, if you're going around, if you're keeping a steady beat like that, that's pulsing. You don't want a big flood like this. There's still some beat implied with this. Bum, 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 not ba, 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 ba. Things to work on. Basic. Fingers. Learn your major scale. Find a little pattern and move it around the 3 chords. That'll get you started, those 3 things, and they're absolutely essential. Then just listen to music that you like and try to find the beat. Find the pattern, find where it's moving. Big holes, big spaces. Big spaces make the next note, bam, sound even louder. That's about it. Hope it's helpful, Desmond. See you later.